And we are back with the Friday edition of our do you call it bi-weekly when it's 2 times in a week? I don't
I think
know.
so. I think so.
It's
Yeah, I think it's bi-weekly. But
this
then it's
bi-weekly.
always confusing, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
is it twice a week or is it one? Is it once every 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Which is to me, it's a
exactly.
fortnight.
I lose it. I really lose the context. But anyway, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us this Friday afternoon. I'm Sally. I am a DevOps advocate with AWS, and alongside me I have Ricardo.
Hello, everyone.
And
Welcome. Happy Friday. Yes, also developer advocate, working very lucky to work with Sally in this
yeah,
12th episode, I believe, Sally, of Fullstack
yeah,
Noobs.
yeah. We have been like from the beginning of this series, we have been building a full stack application by using vibe coding generally and using Kiro. And our goal is to actually build a coding quest that we can use at AWS Boots and so on, so people can test their knowledge while using a Kiro as well. Before we move forward with the recap and everything, in case you want to check out what we have done, what we're building, the on-demand videos are going out every 2 days in 15-minute segments of our live stream. So you can check out what we have worked on before, and
We
you
should
can
also
see.
share some code, shouldn't we, Sally? Because
Yeah,
we did the back end, at least there's the code repo for the back end. We haven't done that for the
yeah,
front end yet, but we will at some point share
yeah.
the source code, right?
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, we have to do that for sure. We have to do that for sure. And yeah, so do you want to do a recap, Ricardo?
Yeah. So where we left episode 11 was kind of on the verge, I guess, of greatness.
Yeah.
So we'd basically taken the back end code, which I put on a repo. Sally had cloned it, and we had effectively configured it all together. But and it
Yeah.
all looked good, right? It all looked good. But what we realized was that Sally's container story was a sad one.
Oh my God, I didn't do it.
Oh no, Sally.
You know what? While you take us through that,
Okay, so whilst you do that, this is now
oh
Sally
my God,
breaking
this is
speed to try
so.
and get his containers up. So we got to a situation where we tried the code, it all worked fine. Sally could get the APIs up and running. And we went through the multiple choice questions, which work fine because that's a deterministic answer. So I think my video is not quite working well, so it's a bit fuzzy, but okay. And then we looked at the general knowledge questions. So let's see if I can fix the video because that is strange. And then we checked the general knowledge questions, which use generative
you look
AI.
blurry. Now it's better. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think it's really weird. I don't understand the magic that is the auto focusing lenses. But anyway, it's there. I'm not going to move. But then when we did the coding ones, which actually use an evaluation engine, which is a container, nothing worked. Okay, and at first we thought it might have been maybe the Java or the TypeScript questions, but what we realized was, unfortunately, Sally hadn't got all the container images weren't working because for whatever reason, right? Actually, not important.
I can tell the reason because
It's the Docker.
apparently
It was the Docker credentials, isn't it?
Yeah. The reason is we are automatically signed out from Docker with our personal accounts. So that is
Are
why.
you?
Yeah.
Right. See, this is it. This is why Finch and Rancher and Podman, they're the business, right? On Macs anyway. But so what we realized was that actually when we troubleshoot it, we didn't actually, you know what, Sally, we didn't even need Kiro to help us troubleshoot this, right? We just knew.
Yeah.
There was a script, and when we ran the script, effectively Sally's computer goes, sorry, I can't build these container images, right? So that's where we got to. Right. But while Sally's doing that, so Sally, you get your containers up and running whilst I'm going to share my screen and talk a little bit about the actual questions that and the question format. Because one of the things that what you might have seen from at the end of the last episode was the fact that Sally not only was able to get the APIs up and running, but he used Kiro to actually pre-populate with a bunch of questions. And when you looked at the questions, what was interesting is that maybe they weren't necessarily in the right format, so they weren't actually going to work within the tool, because the tool, as we've created it, as we vibe coded it, actually needs the questions, the coding questions, done in a very specific way. And what we realized, okay, and this is kind of generally good practice, okay, anyway, when you're using LLMs, is that we really need to provide a strong schema, really, with examples for how it should create the questions. So what we did, and this is something that we have done between from the last show on Tuesday, is I want to walk you through this because it will give you an example of what we mean, right? So, and again, this is only for the coding questions, right? So we have an example of a Python coding question. A player will be asked to provide code to solve a problem. The player will be presented with a problem description. So here's this specific example: write Python code that takes number n and sets result to the sum of 1 to n. Okay. Now, correct answer. We have correct answer defined for general knowledge questions and multiple choice, right? Deterministic. And even with the general knowledge, we use it as a basis for a comparison to see how wide or close the response is from the player. But with coding questions, there is no such thing as a correct answer, right? Because you can write any code. The key thing is it's got to meet the evaluation. And the way that this works is that we define some sample inputs to the code, which should always generate an output. So in this instance, for example, where we want to write a Python code that takes n and the result is a sum of 1 to n. If n is 5, then the result is going to be 15, right? And then we have a hidden one, because what we found was that if we didn't have a hidden one, then people can actually just hard code the code, right, to return the values it's expecting. So the player will actually see the sample inputs when they do hint, but they won't see the hidden inputs and outputs, right? But we still have to provide them for the evaluation, because it's going to do 2 passes, right? It's going to pass both the sample input and the hidden inputs, and then provide a hint. So effectively, what this then how the evaluation engine then works, okay, is that the code is submitted, and effectively the inputs are processed through this function here. The code that the player submits is then injected into this, and then the output is effectively sort of printed out. And this is why we say all the code has to present the final statement as result equals, right? So we can basically print it out. And this is how the code evaluation logic works for Python. And then we provide some examples. So an easy example, moderate, and hard. And then actually the TypeScript is very similar. Actually, the TypeScript is very similar. We can see that here the inputs are managed through this code. The JavaScript is injected, and then we do a console log output that way, right? And again, we provide some examples here of how you can do that. And again, simple, moderate, and hard. And then, but the Java one is slightly different. Of course, Java is always different. Again, we do the same thing, but here, the way it works is that we've got effectively a kind of a holding construct. So this effectively, actually, I should actually have just got rid of this, but this code here is actually where the evaluation engine injects the whatever player code you provided. And again, we've got some examples here. So the reason for creating this is that when we then want Kiro to generate questions for us, it will actually then generate the questions in the right format. So because what we were getting before is we were getting questions that were coding questions, but they just weren't ever going to work in this tool, right? Because they weren't structured in the right way. And I think it's a good example of that, where you've got some constraints. You really need to guide through the context management. So in this instance, we've just created a markdown document called coding question schema. So you can actually make sure that it does it, and it actually works, right? So we actually, so I got it to create some questions, and here they all are, and they work great, but of course, it's never perfect, right? So the questions, the way that and this is something again, because we didn't spend a lot of time. I didn't spend a lot of time doing it. All the questions pretty much were repeats of the examples here, right? So I then had to run through various iterations around, making sure there was enough entropy in and variety in the questions, don't repeat, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where we ended it up. And then because the way that we've created the tool to basically be able to easily export the questions, I effectively generated the questions, exported them, and then gave them to Sally just to test out. But obviously, we've only got 30 questions. We need to generate more questions, right? So we'll need to revisit that step before we do anything. Once Sally's containers are up and running. So Sally, the question
I moved to Finch because I really don't want to waste our time. I moved to Finch, and what I did was I just removed my local. Let me share my screen. I just removed my local changes and everything. And what I have done is simply just right now initialize the Finch virtual machine. And the next thing that we will do is just...
So remember the code we asked the code to change from Finch to Docker, right? So
yeah, I removed that one completely.
Okay, what I was going to suggest you could do, right, instead, so what I do instead, right, is rather than do that, is I actually just do a symlink, right? And or an alias. I alias Docker to Finch, but because you've probably already got Docker installed, that's probably not a good idea, right? So, okay, so effectively, your
nodectl command not found. All right. So, like, can the Finch VM init run in the back, or like?
So you have to wait until you have to wait until this finishes. By the way, you can't.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't. So what will happen is once this is finished, you'll get returned back. There you go. Look, there we have it now. And you can do Finch VM status, and it will tell you it's running, and that's when you know it's actually okay. If you just installed that other shell, you probably need to reset the shell or restart the shell.
The other one, I'm not going to use it. Like, I will just keep this one anyway, right? Like, if it's running, that's enough, right?
Yeah, that should be enough. So now if you run the build images, it should now work. But you need to be in the directory. You can't run it from here. You have to go into the directory to build. Oh, well, it's working. So
no, I did like I actually had the path. I was I would say lazy, not lazy developer.
No, I guess the build image script must automatically manage to pass them. I guess that's good. Right, at least this is working, right? So
yeah.
So this is all you need, right? So this is already better.
I got my order up.
Oh, look at this! We've got TypeScript, Java, and Python containers.
Nice.
Fantastic. Right. So now the thing is that your backend should work. So we can now start the backend like we did last time, and this time the coding questions. We can do the Python one, right? This time it should now work, because that's what wasn't working last time, right?
Yeah, so we need to import the questions now.
Okay, so import. So I did send you the export file, right? So so let's find out where they are and import them. And also we can test the import process, right? We can to make sure I have tested this on my one, so it should work. But
it works fine here.
Fantastic.
So that is great.
This is looking pretty solid, man. So now you go to the top. So you go to the top and you go test questions.
Yeah, I have one issue though. It seems like it only has 30. Didn't we generate 100 or?
No, I need to create 30. I only generated 30.
Okay, that was the thing that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so click on the one below to test questions.
Yes.
And let's test the Python one we know. Let's go for the Python one that we know. So the Python one's at the top, I think. So given 3 variables, write code. Yeah, so let's do that one.
This one, like maybe. No,
yeah, that one. That's the one. Yeah. Question 3. We know that. We know this one's really straightforward, right? So this one is just basically result equals S1 minus S2, right?
I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, this works, but
But before you go, try S1 plus S2 and see.
Yeah, exactly. I also don't want to, be sure before we check the other.
And actually, it's running much quicker on your machine than it was running on my machine.
Yeah, that's M1 Max Pro.
I've got an M1 Mac. I've got an M1 Mac, so obviously something going on my machine that So let's try a TypeScript question now as well.
So we have.
So the first, I think 1 to 10 are Python, 11 to 20, 11 to 20 TypeScript.
Okay, so I will just go and ask our beautiful friend.
Yep, let's do that. And remember, you want the question. You want the, okay. That's okay. Perfect. Let's do that. Copy that.
This is in Python.
Hey,
I want it.
Okay.
In TS. Yeah. Even this goes to Python by default. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So actually, you know what? I funnily enough, I discovered something that was very strange actually last week.
Yeah.
Let's see if that submit and see if it works. Fingers crossed.
Now it takes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Look at that. Okay. Now make it. Yeah, make a change to that and see if 81.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Oh, look, interesting though. Look, the hint test passed. Right.
The hint test is probably checking out the input and like the types of it.
Well, it's I think the input there sample is C to 0, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
If I do like 42, which is not a multiplier of 9, I'm curious if it's going to still pass the hint test. I think it did.
It did, yeah.
We need to add a button here too, or like we need to refresh every time.
Yeah. But I think we didn't we select don't show the correct answer in the configuration. So if you click on a configuration, that's why. Oh no, we have got it off. So that's why is it showing the? Interesting. Shouldn't be showing that. Should we want to turn that off, don't we? We don't want to. Oh, okay. No, it's actually that's the hint. So that's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. That's the hint one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Should I turn off this one?
Yeah. So we don't want to show the question. Right. So okay. So now if you do the Python, the Java one, so do a Java question, which will be yeah. So.
All right. So I'll go Kiro in Java.
Right. So what we want to do, okay, is basically we can't use imports, right? So ask it to basically can you provide code that doesn't use any external libraries?
Yeah. I think it already did it.
Oh, okay, it did, right. Okay. Yeah, so now, so if you put that in there, now that should in theory work. Just put it in there. Yeah. So click. So this now is the test, right? Does it work?
This is the one that scares me.
Okay, it didn't work. Right. Oh, hang on. No. So go back. So it's you gotta basically just put the public string, the just a bit, not the top parent class, the one below it. So that's the one. So that's why it's not working. So do the public. So just copy the
result or like.
So if you go copy everything from the line that where you highlighted. Yeah. So copy just that. And to there, yeah, copy that, or just that's it.
Okay.
Copy that and then delete what's there, and then
like this one. Oh, no. So it's just going to be the function.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And
so now
we call it result or.
I think it should be. Oh, okay. That's good. Try it there, and then if that doesn't work, then what we can do is we can say put it in the result. Oh, it worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So effectively, with the Java ones, you don't need to have the response in result equals, right? Because what happens is the actual if you look at the structure of the questions, the actual kind of the parent class actually does that for you, right? Mm-hmm. All that happens is you just run this class inside that, right? So anyway, what we've shown, Sally, is we've got all three programming languages. Now I'll tell you what we could try to do just to be like mean. Let's write something. Ask it to write some Java code that deletes everything. Or maybe not actually. I don't know how risky
you know what? Like I don't know if I want to take that risk.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say better your machine than my machine, right?
Yeah. I don't want to go in a position that like.
Yeah, no, let's not do that. I mean, I would though. So at some point, I would definitely do so. We don't need to do it now, but for folks watching, those kind of like testing, you do need to figure out where you're going to do those kind of testings, right? Because I would probably typically run it, Sally, on a EC2 machine, EC2 instance, just so that I know that if that goes, then I don't care, right? I probably wouldn't run it on my laptop just because, and it will take 5 minutes to put this code on an EC2 instance. You know, get the dependencies. I mean, we probably do need to think about actually packaging up the container piece as a dependency, right? And figure out how that piece works. But the good thing is we've now tested everything from the application. So you do have your AWS credentials already logged in and working, so that the rest of the piece works. So Sally, I guess now we are ready to start, I guess, because you've already done the hooking up, the integration of the front end to the back end, right? I think we did that as part of the first part. So in theory, does this mean that we can now start?
I want to do two things. Like I want to have more. Yeah.
Oh, more questions. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. Good.
I want to have more questions.
Right. So you've got the markdown document, right? Because I think I just so if you just pull down the or refresh the repo, it should be there.
Markdown. You sent me the JSON. I'm just going to use that.
No. Oh, you could do that, I guess, but but the problem is that the JSON file only gives you the examples, right? The actual markdown document. So if you do a git pull, then it will basically.
This is the latest version now.
Is it? So it should be in the root. So go. Keep going. It's not there. So it's not. You definitely haven't got the latest version then. So
did you? Are you sure?
It's definitely on the actually. Let me just make sure. Actually, is it in the repo? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's definitely in the repo. So what you need to do is you need to do a git pull, because it definitely is in that.
But like I don't see it also in the main branch in the GitHub as well.
Right.
What markdown file? What is like? Is there a different name of the file?
It's called coding question schema. Why can't I see? I've lost your I've lost the Chrome window. I can't see. Why can't I see anything?
Sorry. I also don't see it also in the project when I do a search in GitHub as well.
Hang on a sec. I need to figure out why I can't. Okay. There we go. Right. So, really? Okay. So let me just. Okay. So, question. Why are you using Kiro? Well, that's a very good question. We're using Kiro because it's awesome. It's an awesome AI coding tool, so that's why we're using it. So check out previous episodes, and hopefully that you can get to see how awesome it really is.
But like also this game that we're building is a quest for the Kiro itself to be used as well. So everything just works together, and this is a cool AI assistant.
Yeah. So are you saying that in the repo it's not in the repo?
No, I don't see it at all. Let me show you.
Okay. All right.
This is the main branch.
Hang on a sec. I can't see my screen at the moment. Right. So that's the main branch. In the root.
This is the root.
Oh.
I see nothing.
Oh, okay. Right. In that case, that makes everything so clear. Right. Okay. So let me just move where that is. That's really bizarre.
Quest. Maybe it is part of. Like maybe you can just copy and paste as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna coding. That's why. Yeah. Here we go. For some reason, when I did the repo, I did it in the wrong directory. So I'm just adding it now. Coding schema, Q schema. Right, so it says push now, right? So you'll see it in the root directory now. If you just do a git pull, you'll see it.
All right. So let me put in my terminal, game engine, git pull. All right, now we have it. whenever I work with Git, I always have tendency to work with CLI more than anything else.
Yeah. I think also you end up kind of like creating lots of aliases. So I have lots of aliases to kind of to automate some of the commands, just makes everything so easy. So this basically what we need to do, Sally, is that we basically need to use when we're asking it to generate more questions. You can see that we've got a file that's basically called core generate coding questions.python. So we need to say basically we want you to generate some more test questions, use the coding question schema, update the script, but also importantly, we need to make sure that it's got variety, right? We don't want so we don't want it to duplicate what's in the examples, right? We want it to have a lot of variety. That's the one thing that it didn't do a particularly good job at the first time.
Yeah, I think we don't need this Python anymore, right? If I'm not mistaken. So we will say that this is
we don't need the code. You're right. We don't know. We don't need it. But that's the code that was. If you look at the code, it's just basically that plus all the sample questions, right? So that it can. So yeah, you're right. We don't want to necessarily force the agent to do it a specific way, but if we wanted to, that's how we could do it.
Yeah. Do we but the schema doesn't mention that it needs to create a JSON file or something, right?
So I think what we did there before last time, Sally, what you did is you had the API up and running, and you said use the API docs basically to figure out the API structure schema.
All right.
So I think what you did is you used a combination of the API thing.
True.
Again, which is why everyone should use Swagger or document your APIs to make it easier for coding agents to understand, what you want, right? I think the days of now spending more time creating really solid, good API docs. I think it matters more than ever now, right? Because the better your docs are, the better when an AI agent interacts with it, you're going to get better output, right?
So coding question.
So whilst you're doing that, folks, I've got a lovely new swag. Yesterday I was at Indicium AI. It's an AWS partner, a former colleague of ours in our team, Steve Bryan. So shout out, Steve, if you're watching. I was there just to kind of hang out with them, and also the folks from Anthropic were there doing some workshops, which were awesome. And I managed to get this really lovely high quality swag. Swag, right? I've got to the stage now where if it's really high quality, I love it. And this jumper, it's so nice. It's so soft.
And also, there's so many t-shirts out there, but this kind of things, night sweater, the jumpers, and so on, they are so nice and cozy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. This one, this is a keeper, right? A lot of them I don't even bother now. So, but this was definitely a keeper.
Yeah, because if I bring more swag that looks like everything else, my wife would kick me out to keep the swags now because we don't have any place anymore.
Yeah. So Sally, I noticed you're using the hash current file. For people who are new to Kiro, the hash command allows you to invoke the context commands, and one of the context commands is open the current file, right? So as we've got the coding schema question thing up, that's why Sally has done the hash current file. There's loads of other ones though. So as you use these tools, knowing or adding the right context is important, but by kind of association with that, you need to make sure that you have enough flexibility around what you include, right? Because too much is bad, too little is bad. You need to get the sweet spot, the Goldilocks spot, right? So so basically using that, make sure. Okay, what we did before is we specified the API endpoint, didn't we? So basically localhost 127 or :50,001 /API docs.
Yeah. Locally. Swagger API docs. So here's what I also wanted to do. So we mentioned we check the questions before you generate them.
So last time, Sally, what we did is we was very specific. We didn't just say Swagger. We actually gave it the URI to access, because remember, we don't have We don't have the actual Swagger file, so you need to basically make sure that the server's up and running, and that we actually have the actual yeah, exactly, the link.
Was it like this?
That's
I think
it.
it
That's
was like
perfect.
this, right?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right. I think this should be enough to
Let the dice roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see.
By the way, like since the beginning, we have been using a single agent with like single purpose, and it just runs without any like parallel operations and so on, because we didn't need anything.
Yeah, so I think that's right. I think, you know, we are vibe coding, so we don't really. I mean, it's. I think one of the interesting things about vibe coding, okay, we've done front end work, we've done back end work.
Yeah.
It's and now that we've got a lot better understanding of things like, you know, the prompts we've used, we capture those in docs, things like, you know, managing issues in an issue log, things like the data model. It's conceivable, right, and probably a good idea that maybe what we could have done, maybe not in the ID, but maybe using Kiro CLI, will be to create effectively, okay, a couple of custom agents, front end agent, back end agent, because obviously you can do sub agents in Kiro CLI, and then and effectively ask it to build the application and define the, so you as you know, the kind of the parent as the orchestrator, saying we want to build the application, start with the front end first because Sally wants the front end first, but in parallel do the back end, right, and then as needed, right, kind of like, because they're separate code bases, right, so there's no, in theory, they should be able to deliver all the code in parallel, right? So I think we could have definitely done that, you know, because we've got each of the front end and the back end have got their own .kiro steering files. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely an exercise, right, that we could have done, right? So it's waiting for some input. Is that all right? Okay.
Yeah, I like one thing that I really liked in the last few days. I have been preparing for a talk of mine. I've been using like Claude. I've been using Kiro as well, like, to see their like what is beyond the things that we know to operate in the multi-layer of AI-driven development that would make our lives faster or easier. Because I was like, I want to build an app, but I want to build it fast as well. So how to do it? And oh my God, like I am blown away with the planning capabilities that is available on Kiro CLI as well as the Claude as well. The not only the sub agents, but also parallel workers. It's insane. Like honestly, the way that everything works and how you iterate your ideas get insanely faster for sure.
Yeah. I just Kiro, because I'm not sure, because Kiro CLI sub agents weren't parallel execution; they were sequential, right? Has that changed?
I mean,
are they running in parallel now? So that's one thing I'm not sure, because I know that before that you could spawn up multiple sub agents, but you would effectively, they would run in turn, not in parallel.
If I'm not mistaken, they work the same as Claude sub agents, not like the sub workers, but sub agents. So they're read-only parallel running things that.
Oh, okay. So they changed. So they have changed it then, because I know when they first launched they weren't. So that's good. That's good they changed that. Because that's one of the things that I've been adjusting to as I look at Claude. Claude does do parallel execution, and also it does support all the tools, right? So I know that Kiro only supported, I think, 3 tools, didn't it? Didn't support more than, I think it was read, write, and I think it was bash.
I think Claude is also just read.
No, so it does all the tools, that as long as you configure it. So because again, I'm understanding, you know, how, you know, I think as a developer, you kind of want to understand how lots of different tools work, right, so that you can apply and use the right tool for the right job. So whilst, you know, my heart is definitely in Kiro land, I'm beginning to definitely spend a lot more time using Claude as well for areas where maybe I see it's got a higher strength. And I think in that agent sub agent swarm type situation, it seems to definitely at the moment, for me at least, have an edge.
Okay. It's for built-in stuff.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
I was just checking really quickly. For built-in sub-agents, it's read-only, but uh, it denies also according to the plan as well, like your payment
Right.
plan
Right.
as well.
So we've got 22 new coding questions. So this
Nice.
is so let's so I added to those. Let's see actually get through
But
the
like,
UI.
why did it only add coding questions? I want to have more.
Well, because these questions, remember the schema is coding questions, all right? So what
Okay.
so what we can say is we can then ask it to add some more general knowledge questions as well,
Okay.
right? But they'll be easy because we don't need to worry about the schema. But before we do
Yeah.
that, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the questions because I worry that the questions might be too similar, right?
But I told it to check the questions before you creating
So look
new
at
ones as
the
well.
questions, right? So it's done exactly the same thing. Given a number as JSON, given a string as JSON, given a string as JSON. So this is the issue. And if you look at if you go further up, look at some of the TypeScript questions or whatever. Maybe the TypeScript and Python questions are slightly better. I think they actually look okay. But I think what we can do is, rather than us go through this manually, we can ask Hero, right? Review the 50 questions or review all the questions in the question bank, the coding questions, and ask it to compare to review for similarity, and make a suggestion on how it would improve it.
But this is the Java question, right? For example, is it because of
I think
how Java
yes,
is
yeah,
handled?
because that's definitely a Java question. Yes, yeah,
Like, I think the question is created this way because
but they're
of the way that
duplicated. But what I'm saying is they're duplicated of the previous questions, and that's the problem, right? Is that it's not been smart enough to, or maybe it's too deterministic. In this is an example. I'm going to copy the example, right? I mean, maybe this is a case where maybe writing a small piece of code that uses strands agents, right, and then directly interfaces with Amazon Bedrock and a model might actually be a better way of generating questions, right? Rather than using Kiro to do it, because I worry that Kiro is so I kind of like I forgot to mention this. So whilst I was doing this, right, you know when you open a new session, a new tab in Kiro, now it's always been my understanding that opening a new session should generate a completely new context window. So effectively fresh memory. It shouldn't know anything about anything previously, right? But what was interesting is that as I was asking it to generate new questions in these new tabs, it would just keep repeating the stuff I had in other sessions. So I was beginning to doubt whether there was actually true isolation in the chats. Now I didn't experiment enough, right? But it kind of made me think that I'm just wondering whether maybe we need Kiro to write us a very small strands application that allows us to generate sample codes. Maybe even like allows you to generate the type of questions. So like I said, this is coding questions, right? But we don't want just coding questions. We want other questions as well, right? And because I just don't think the Kiro is doing a particularly good job at being random enough for us, right? Or providing enough variety.
But like, if you ask the same, like if you give the same input and if you ask the same questions, I'm not very surprised that it is not doing a lot of variety because it is supposed to come
But we ask it
closer.
to.
Like,
We ask it. This is the structure, right? I mean, what we could do? We could do an experiment, Sally, right?
yeah.
So copy the coding question schema into a different doc, right? And this time remove the examples and see what happens, and do the same prompt, because we've got lots of examples, right? And all the examples are being duplicated, right? So let's actually so let's remove the examples.
All right. So I will just create a new file and say that coding question schema D, and remove the examples.
Yeah.
Another example here is gone. But like, okay, this is an example as well. It's not a template. It's also example, not a template.
I think the Python's got the largest number of examples, but yeah, so I think it's good. So it's a much smaller doc as well now. So
yeah, so we have
this.
this.
Okay, this is perfect. This is actually perfect.
All
so
right.
we got a much small. So close. Yeah. So now repeat the
Same
prompt.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But remember, you need to change the. I would close the other. Yeah.
Close it.
No. Close the in the open file. Open. Close the previous.
Yeah.
Close that one, and then
I was going to
Yeah, do that as well. Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
But I would also. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
You know, like let me close all the chats, everything. All right.
Okay. And let's see what happens because now it's got no examples, right? It better not duplicate anything. Because I mean, like I said, I think this is why when you get to situations like this, what you want is you do want to have much more control over things like temperature, right? Which for those people who might not know what temperature is, it's one of the I guess configuration or dialing or tuning options you have with LLMs to create more entropy, right? More randomness, more creativity. And so that's why you don't get access to that, right, from the Kiro interface, right? Which is why sometimes if you need to do this, creating maybe something like a small utility app that uses strands, which is a open source agentic AI framework that makes it really simple to kind of build these utility applications. That might be something that we can use. Okay, now I have a clear picture of all 52 questions. So the thing is, this is going to take the example questions and maybe it's going to. Okay, so it's going to create new questions that don't overlap with the existing 52.
Yeah.
Does this mean we're going to have 104 questions?
I don't think so because like we didn't give any numbers for it to create. It just
okay. Let's see how many questions it creates. This is intriguing. But yeah, so I think we've got some options, Sally. I think that we definitely, if it doesn't give us, I mean, I think what we can say is this problem is not a coding problem necessarily, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about content. So what we can do is, in the interest of getting something up and running, working, we can put a pin on it. And we can move forward. But it is something that, again, whilst when you're vibe coding, these are some of the questions, some of the challenges you might get into, right? And this is why it's really it's an important observation, right? It's an important thing we've discovered. But I think it's also, we talked about maybe adding Gen AI within the actual Q&A or the question bank tool. That would basically use something like Strands Agent, so we wouldn't be using Kiro, and so therefore that might actually be a better option anyway, just to do that. But we're not going to do that now. We don't need to do that now. Okay, look, it's got 70 questions now.
It created 18 more questions.
Oh, we are going to have more questions we know what to do with, Sally.
Yeah. You know what? It's better to have the questions than not. So I'm happy. I'm happy that we have it.
So let's look at them. Let's have a look at the questions and see if they are any different. I've got to say, I'm not.
I think the way that they would look, like this given a string and so on, I'm not surprised for it because we direct them into making it this way.
Well, except for remember, it deleted. It looked at existing questions before, right?
Yeah.
So I think there was one example in the actual document, but there was what. So I think the only way we know for sure is if we delete all the questions, right? Now there's a script that we created called delete questions, I think. Yeah. So I think so what we could do is we could rerun the prompt with no questions in there, and that way it's not going to be able to see what questions already exist and copy them effectively.
All right, let's do it.
There's a script Python delete all questions.
So I'm here. And it is in
source. That's it. It should be it's in the root. So just in theory, if you write Python delete all questions, it should, in theory, delete all questions.
It's in the root. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's in source, I think.
No, it's here. Like it's in the game engine. It's in the root. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's in there, right? Okay.
So Python.
Okay. So now if you refresh the screen and see if the questions have all gone.
All right. Nothing here.
Okay, brilliant. Right. So now if we repeat the prompt, it's now not got anything to go with, right? So this in theory. So if you do up. So make sure you have a variety of questions. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what happens now.
All right. Should I also remove the add new questions, add more questions scripts?
No, we can keep those for the moment. Keep those for the moment.
It might look at them though. It might look at them for a question. Like I would.
Do you think so? Okay, but we'll see. We'll see Kira doing that, right? So let's roll the dice, right? It's got just the steering doc at the moment, which is your steering document, which means it's not going to. So it's actually you're right. Look, generating coding questions, add more questions, it is. You're right. Look,
let me stop it.
Cancel.
Yeah, let me delete this as well because I don't want this to.
Yeah, these agents are tricky.
Yeah, and now let me start a new chat.
I do think though that whilst this is a good exercise in seeing how Kira handles this, I think my approach, having gone through it, my instinct tells me to write basically a helper app to do this rather than getting the ID to do it. But let's go with it. Let's is it fine?
Now, like I will try to go back to. So I will just do this one more time, and I think we should be good.
God, I mean this, but actually this is actually fun because you can see how thorough, right? These
desperately
agents
tries to.
It does. So models and schemas, that's fine. That's good. Check me swag. Okay, good. This looks good. Right. So now it desperately wants to try and take a shortcut. It really wants question roots. Okay, that's good. We don't care about that. That's just the code.
Yeah.
So this is it. Really is looking. It wants help. It wants help.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
I mean, I want the help as well. I want it.
But I tell you what, though, Sally, once you have the Strands MCP server integrated, building a simple question generator at a kind of question. Say, for example, you could do it so that you have one configuration option, which is your question schema, and you can define multiple ones, and then you can have a very simple UI that basically says, right, I want coding questions, I want general knowledge questions, I want these topics. And then you could configure different LLMs, right? And different LLMs would give you different approaches. You could use Haiku, you could use Opus, which I know you're fixed on. Sonnet.
Why?
You could
Why
use.
Would you think that? Why would you think
OpenAI?
that?
You could even use OpenAI. The OpenAI models, right? Okay, so it's looking good. Okay,
it's created some stuff. I'm really curious also of the fact that if it's going to be compliant with what we expect it to be too. So overall,
here's my expectation, Sally. I think I wouldn't expect it to be. I just don't think the temperature for coding agent is what we need it for, right? I think in a way this is actually quite useful to know, because what we're learning here is that they're quite consistent in how they approach writing code, right? They don't go off on crazy tangents, which, let's have a look. The curl hand seems to hang. Well, is that right?
Yeah. All right. Be better, please.
Why did the command time out after 10 seconds? That's interesting. The girl seems to hang a bit.
Yeah. Maybe,
yeah, I mean,
maybe backend panic, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that backend code is solid, man. Don't diss the backend code, right?
No, come on.
No, it's actually it has actually got them right. Actually, we can see the questions right, so we can see.
Yeah.
But these are they all Python
These
ones?
are Python. It still carries on, but we will see the questions already.
But you can. So if you do view wrap, so we can see in the window
how to do it easily, like.
So if you go to view, no, if you go actually all you got to do is on view on the menu on VS Code on Kiro menu, you can do view and then wrap screen, wrap lines, word wrap at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then we'll see the questions that way.
Okay.
So list of numbers.
So this is Python's.
So it's the same. Look, the questions are all the same. So it's not worked, right? It's not worked.
All right, folks. AI is not going to steal your jobs.
Well, okay, but remember, I think this is because, like I said, this is only because we are using Kiro to do this, right?
Yeah.
And Kiro is more used to being consistent when we're asked to do something to follow a pattern, right? So actually, this is a good thing for me. This is a good thing, right? It's a good thing, and it's also why, you know, if you're using AI coding assistants to write code, then maybe you need to have, you know, asking it to generate questions isn't code, right? It's data, right? And so maybe this is not right. You know what would be interesting to do, Sally, is if we get the Amazon Bedrock text playground, right?
Yeah.
And ask it to do the same thing. I wonder if it would generate, you know, a lot more entropy and variety in the questions.
Let me open my Bedrock.
Yeah, I think we should try it. You know, I think it's worth doing it because that's going to be the quickest thing with that. I mean, we could, you know, we could definitely build something in strands, but let's as we've got as a text playground, and we've got all the pieces, right? We've got the schema. I guess the only thing is we won't have the API format, right? So we'll need to give it the schema of an example JSON of the question format, right?
Yeah.
So actually, what we'll need to do, Sally, actually, is we can use the original doc rather than the one that we deleted the examples from. Let's use the original one, and that should be enough. So which one are you going to use?
I mean, are you even asking? It just makes me sad. I might use Sonnet though. I think Sonnet is better.
Actually, so if you go to the Git repo and just access the or if you can undelete the file because you delete them, didn't you?
Yeah,
So
I will just undelete the file.
Just revert, yeah.
To undelete my file.
Okay, perfect.
And no, I don't want to. What was it?
Yeah,
trademark.
So just copy that into into Opus.
So select model, Anthropic.
We could try Amazon Nova as well. We could try that maybe.
Let's do let's do Sonnet 4.6 maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do 4.6.
You know, let's do the global one.
Okay.
And system prompt.
So we want to basically ask it generate 30. Let's ask it to generate 10, right? Because ask it to generate. So in the system prompt, should we put?
I think we should put
copy the contents of that document.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
And in here we will say,
all right,
generate 10 questions.
Yeah, let's do 10. Yeah, 10 coding questions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, make sure we want variety, right? So the questions, 10 questions must be variety and not similar to each other. Can you make your screen slightly bigger as well, Sally, so that so it's easier to see for people who are?
Yes.
So that's better. That's okay. Cool. Yeah. Perfect.
I will just go with this.
Okay, let's see. All right. So the first one,
Given a string,
given a sentence.
list.
Okay, given a sentence, given a list of integers. Okay.
TypeScript is still given an array of objects. The
Okay,
questions are different.
They are. So this is better, right? This is much better.
Yeah.
So I think what we've shown here, okay, is effectively, some of the limitations of maybe how you can use AI coding tools like Hero to actually generate things other than code, right? So
But
I think
Java is still bad. Like Java is very similar to what we had. Like it still starts with like write a Java solve method, blah blah blah. Write a Java solve method, and if I come back here and actually refresh, write a Java solve method, something something. Write a Java solve method, something something. This is not what I.
So maybe we should, but I think maybe because so here's the thing, right? For Java questions, right, we know that there's an always adjacent input string.
No.
So maybe what this is that we just need to ask it to rephrase what that is, right? And don't include the fact it's got a JSON input string and that's actually defined as part of the question. I think the bigger question is whether maybe the actual questions are more varied. So write a Java solve method that takes. I mean, yeah. But I think they're definitely better when we. So I think what we can do though, Sally, is we don't really care at this stage about the question because that's a data entry problem, right? It's a data entry problem. So what we want to do is we want to actually see if we can actually get the game up and running. Now we've got some questions, right? But we need 50 of them. Is that right? Because do we need 50 questions?
Yeah, right, we also need more like real questions as well, like the multiple choice and general knowledge.
So the other files you deleted, right? In the source code, did they add those questions? Add more questions? So does that? Yeah. So that's what these.
I think those three only created coding questions. They didn't create any other.
Well, even they add more questions and add new questions.
No, like I created these only right now.
Oh, okay, right, okay, fine.
So these are not part of your repo. It's just it is there in the system because I committed.
Okay, all right, okay, right.
So that is why I would say in the same chat actually. Great work with coding questions. Now I want you to create 30, not 30.
Yeah, I think 30 is what we want.
Yeah, 30 question for each. No, 30 question.
We want 30 multiple choice.
Yeah,
and 30 general knowledge questions, and we should give the subject on choose the and 30 general knowledge. And so and we should say choose the topics on 1 AWS, 2 Kiro, and what else do we want? 3 strands, let's say. Strands agents, because we have to call it strands agents, otherwise it's not going to know what that is. What else
should we also say on? Like should we also add general knowledge questions about the languages or no?
Well, I think the coding ones cover that. So let's talk about maybe AWS user groups. No, bit too.
I would say pop culture.
Oh yeah, I like it. Yeah, of course, extra bonus points for 80s pop culture.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Let's make it directly.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
So I hope it will ask us about the members of the A team, maybe,
Okay, so who were, right? I'm gonna put you on the spot now. Who are the 4 members?
Okay, there's Mr. T, easy. Yep. There's Murdoch.
Murdoch, my favorite.
There is the handsome guy, I forgot his
Iceman.
name. Yeah, exactly. And I have one more, and it's the leader. I forgot his name.
Animal.
Yeah, oh my god, Animal. Yeah.
Animal.
So easy. That one was sorry. That was, I
Well,
think
you
the
know, I am a child of the 80s, right? So, you know, if I didn't know those questions, there'd be something wrong with me.
I loved a team because when I was a kid, it was always on in the mornings at the TV. So
Oh,
I was
really?
watching it as well. But I forgot the face, man. I like the rest. I know it by heart, and also like Mr. T. It's impossible to forget.
Yeah. He was actually. I got to say, I definitely liked Mr. T because I also wasn't good with flying. So for me,
Yeah.
you know, they always had to knock him out, right?
Yeah. Oh man,
I think a lot of people like Murdoch because he was just completely
crazy.
crazy. But
Yeah. So that was one of the reasons that I liked him. Yeah. I mean, he was in the border of the crazy and the MacGyver. Like it's this
yeah.
like crazy professor
Oh my God was
state.
another great program, right? Which actually
Yeah.
I didn't I know of it. I saw enough episodes, but
Yeah.
I just thought, wow, completely bonkers. This guy could literally create, you know, create anything out of a paper clip,
Yeah.
right? And some
You,
paper.
you you give him something like, I mean, yeah, now it's a bomb, or like
Yeah,
something insane that doesn't have any ingredients, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm sure he was responsible for lots of domestic issues, you know, or incidents, right, where people were copying his
Yeah,
experiments.
probably. Probably. Like, luckily it was during the 80s. What if it happened during this time?
Oh gosh,
you know,
imagine that, right?
like
Yes.
you would see YouTubers doing the same things that he did,
So
and knowing
is it
that, yeah,
how what's it? Has it actually got? So it's got some new scripts. Add
yeah,
MC General, add MC
y-
General questions. So we've got
yeah.
some. Let's have a look. Do
So
the view wrap again. The go to view wrap so we can see some of the
yes.
questions.
All right. So there is the
Services fully managed NoSQL database. Correct answer. DynamoDB.
yeah.
Yeah, it's looking good.
There's
Looking good.
S3, AWS, whatnot. Like, I'm
But
really curious.
for these kind of questions, actually, it's pretty good,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So thumbs up for the multiple choice, and so this is the MC multiple choice. Yeah. So has
yeah,
it? These are all multiple choice. They're
yeah.
not general knowledge ones.
No, nothing yet. I think it said it's going to create 60 questions
Okay.
somewhere. So like, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
actually, okay. So we've now got a new file.
Yeah.
MC. Oh no, you got to run this. It's wanting to create it.
Okay. Yeah. So the multiple choice is like,
The
which
multiple
open
choice looks
source
good. Let's
platforms?
look at this. Looks like a solid selection. That is.
Yeah.
Can we view the other file that's created? The
I
what?
think it. I think it only created one, and it was the MC general question. Everything like MC is the multiple choice, and
Yeah,
general is
that's it.
general.
Yeah,
So
multiple
I think.
choice. So it's asking you to run a command again to do something to check the questions. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. And there is this trans agents, which is, I would just, yeah. Which 1980s movie features a teenager who accidentally travels back in time to 1955? Come on.
Yeah.
I just watched it maybe like 3 days ago. So
But it's only created multiple choice. Where are the general knowledge questions got appearing?
like it's a bit down. Like first it created
Oh
multiple
yeah,
choice,
general hard.
then the general questions. Like now with Amazon, for
Okay,
example,
got you.
Kiro and Strands, and yeah, again, Sony Walk.
Okay, so we've got questions. Are they in the question bank?
Yeah, let's see. So
Right.
yes, it
Okay, so
seems like.
we've got enough questions now, right, for the quiz for the game. So does this mean now, Sally, that if we bring up the front end, will
Yeah.
the front end actually be able to access these questions, or do we need to add them to a question bank first? Because remember what the architecture was that questions are derived from a question bank, and we don't have any question banks defined at the moment, do we?
I will ask Kiro. If I run the game project now, will it, you know what, I will just do this, be able to access all the questions now with the game.
But my worry, though, Sally, if we do this right,
Yeah.
then what will happen is it might be more likely to change the code so that it works directly with questions and violate our data model construct, right? Which basically is that you you select the questions from a question bank, because that's the data model. The data model is that you create an event chooses a question bank, and when you create the game board selects a 32 questions from the question bank. And I worry that if we ask this, is it going to say, oh no, it doesn't, let me change it so that we the code works directly with questions?
But I think we eliminated that, right? Like, I mean, it did I remember it did try to do one implementation of the backend, right? Should I just run the front end and see what we have?
Well, let's do it. Let's see. Yeah, we can try it. I mean, again, I don't remember. That's the thing. I don't remember what. But my worry is that we know that. So again, this is where front end and back end. If you're not clear on exactly how it works, right? The way the data model works, or the way the game flow is supposed to work, is that you create. What's it looking good? Start new game.
So I go here. I say.
Do we have the 8-character code though? What is it?
It is going to care for it. 8 times 8, and let's select Python to make our lives easy.
Okay.
And let's do this thing and play. Invalid access code.
So let's go. So okay. So what? Where? So if you go to the data, if you go to Kiro, okay. I'm not sure if you've got SQLite. So if you go to the database in the game engine, in its instance, in the instance directory, up. Click on that. Oh, you don't have. So if you can, there's a plugin called SQLite Viewer. Awesome.
Is it awesome or you? It's called awesome. Like
this is the one. This is the one. This is what I use, right? And it's really good, really handy for when you're working with SQLite, because it allows you to view in. So if you go back to there, click on it, it should now open the. So is there a I think event? So we need to events, and events have got access codes, right? So there's no events. Actually, no, there is an event. There's one, not one line. No. So that's so we haven't created the event, right? So that's why we don't have an access code. And so here's the thing, right? So the event code. The event generates, or you choose a question bank. So we don't have questions. So we're gonna run into these little challenges, right? Because
in this one, do we have events or something? No, we don't.
So this is what we talked about. This is what we talked about at the beginning, right? So we don't have we have the API for events. We don't have the GUI for it, right? So maybe what we need to do, because I'm just conscious, Sally, we're at 1 hour now, just at the top. So maybe what we've come to a point where we need to revisit maybe the back end, make some changes, so that we can add the game start logic and do a screen that allows us to add the game, create the game, assign the question bank, and then generate the token, the token, which then we use in the logic on the front end to start the game.
Why don't we just tell Kiro to create an event so we can be we can be sure
okay, let's do that. Point it to the API then.
So, because I think the UI to the API we can generate it fast.
Okay.
But let's see and be sure that it's going to work.
But okay, if my understanding is right and the data constructs are working or holding true, the API won't work. And I'll tell you why. Because we don't have a question bank. If you look at the API asks, when you create an event, you have to pass in a question bank, and we haven't created one. So if you go to the API docs, so bring up the browser with the API docs. So you can see there, look, you've got question bank ID, right? So so that is we don't have that created, right? We don't have that. So I think what might be the easiest thing to do is go back to the Kiro chat session, and ask it to add all the questions that we got it to add. Ask it to create a question bank called, let's say, bank 1, and add all questions into that question bank. It's all done through API, right? So it should take 2 seconds to do, right?
All right.
So that way we'll have a question bank, and we'll have our questions in the question bank. right? So, but do it in the previous conversation where you created the sample questions.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. And put all the current questions in this question bank. And then also say basically use the API for the well, you just use the API to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then put
okay,
yeah. I would have put in brackets. I would have put in brackets 127.0.0.1. But hopefully it's got that in its memory. So
let's be sure.
No, slash API docs.
But the API docs is at the docs. The API is on 127.0.0.1, right?
No, it's so running low. So it's colon 5001. So let's see if let's see if it handles it. Let's see if it handles it.
Yeah.
It has. It's done it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So run. All right. The command chaining might be causing issues. Sure.
What's that? Sorry.
It just said like the command chaining might be causing issues. So let me do it step by step. So I was just looks like the create backend point might have a different path. All right.
Yeah. So that's okay. So
yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right.
It's get it out now.
Perfect.
Okay. So now if you go to the GUI, we should now see in the GUI, we should see the question bank.
Where is the question banks? Where's the refresh?
Oh yeah, it's not there. It's not there. You're right. It's not there, is it?
No, I just need to refresh.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So we got a question bank now.
Yeah.
And if you look at okay. But
what should I look at?
And if you go to questions, the questions now should have
okay, to the questions.
Yeah. So there should be a thing which says banks associated. I think it's like which banks are they in?
Okay.
No, they're not in.
Times something.
Okay, so where is it? Okay? If you go to the GUI, then go to the actual the question bank GUI and go to question banks.
Okay. But yeah.
Bank 185 questions, brilliant. Okay, it's got fantastic. So we've got everything we need now. We've got the question bank one. We've got questions in it. So in theory, we should be able to use the API to create a new event.
Yeah. Event for me with the question and you created. Call the event my awesome event.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah. So it is crazy to me that it doesn't check the docs that it has consumed, but it actually checks out the source code to know the path and everything.
Yeah. So here we go. Look, it seems to my event awesome created access. Oh, we got the access code as well. Look at that. We got the access code now. That's all we wanted. We just wanted the access code.
Let's.
You might need to refresh.
Yeah, true. It's sunny. That's the Python play.
Whoa,
so,
man! Shit,
I am excited. I'm excited.
This is the proof that is in the pudding, right? Is what happens if we do a question.
So write Python code takes a number n and sets result to sum of the integers, like expected. What is expected behavior 1?
I don't understand what expected. That's a bit of a strange GUI, that one.
Yeah, I think
we got the code editor. That's okay. Let's copy the
Yeah.
question then, and get Kiro to and I would also say put the final statement as result equal. Oh, it's already done it. Okay, fine, cool.
Yeah.
So just copy that.
Please. So submit. It works.
Yeah.
It works. Oh my god. This is
We got some points. Hang on. We got some points now. Score. Okay, brilliant. Okay, let's do the next let's do the next question then.
So do you want to go back and open more, or like
No, let's try and do one path.
Yeah.
Right.
And write Python code that takes a number and sets result to its factorial. All right, let's see. All right.
That's not going to work though, is it? So we need to make sure the final thing is result equals. So result equals.
Are we going to call this result again? Or?
So what I would do is I would go back into the Kiro and I would say make sure that the final statement or the answer is, or the code it provides the final statement in the format of result equals.
So I
need the or put in Kiro, I need the answer in the format result equals.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I was just going to change this to answer.
Yeah, I mean that's yes, that's
right. But let's see. No, it didn't do it.
It's not done it.
Let's see if the human.
I tell you why. I tell you why. If you go back, when I've done this in Kiro, you put I need the format in the format of result equals answer. I don't put result equals answer. I just put the answer in result equals. I don't want the so that's what I so press the up arrow key and just delete the answer bit.
Yeah. So like this.
Yeah.
Oh no. I put an accidental.
Yes, the old accidental.
Backslash. Look who joined us a bit later than usual today. It's Tobias.
Hey, good to see you, Tobias.
Better late than never, my friend. Good to see you. You came in the right moment.
Yeah, you did. We managed to hook the front end and the back end, and we've answered the first question.
By the way, do you realize also it selected the question category right as well? Like it is actually using bringing Python questions.
Yeah,
not Java,
that's right.
For example.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So this is all looking good. So
it says result was aye.
So here's the thing, right? Here's a trick. What we learned, right, is if you've got to bring in the full question from the challenge.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the question, say I want the answer in the format of that's exactly it.
Right.
That's typically how. Oh, still not doing it.
It says result equals result.
Well, you could do that. Could you?
But how does it work with Python? Because in for example Java, you would say this. You would use this keyword. I think it's the same in TypeScript, JavaScript as well.
So maybe So I ask it to create a function, right, rather than, because it's hard coding. It's hard coding a reference right at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's still not right.
No.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I will say one last thing. I want to call the function.
Oh, actually, so the code needs to, yeah, exactly, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think it's just this. Like this should be here. So in here, because of the scope, it will be fine to have multiple results. So this result is under this function's scope, and having this at the end to call this one, it's not a problem. But it shouldn't have taken 6 different prompts to do this. Come on. But I still have to say, I like that the game is working now.
I mean, it's yeah, we really get to see what happens when we actually get to the end, right?
Yeah, I'm really curious. For example, if this is going to work or fail.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
So let's go in the next question.
Yeah.
Right. Let's so let's do an easy question, because I think the easy, is that an easy question? That's an easy question, isn't it? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, let's copy expected behavior true. I don't understand why it's saying that. What's the so let's put that in key row.
Yeah.
Test cases. So what we can do here is try and actually put some so that it has a bad, so equals result n percentage 2 equals 1. Let's say, let's yeah, copy the whole of that. Yeah, so let's do that.
No, I copied it.
Yeah, but then edit the file so that it says 1 at the end rather than 0, because that should go back to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Now this is wrong, right? It should fail.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Oh, hang on. It says correct answer.
Yeah, I think this is just a front-end adoption part. We can take care of it. I think
now,
these are just like
let's go back. Let's go back then and try the. Oh, it actually didn't. It doesn't allow us to try again. Can you click on that question again or not?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
No, it changed the question.
Oh, it changed the question, man. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because remember what I said. Language TypeScript.
Oh my god! Yeah.
What happened? What's going on? Did you refresh?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, we need to put some refresh on the front code, so you can't do refresh.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing, Sally. Right?
Yeah.
We've made good progress.
Yeah.
We've now got at least the integration working.
Yeah.
We created an event, and we know that basically both correct and incorrect questions are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're at a good point, I think, now maybe to say, right, that's it for today.
But like, I want to ask you, what is our next steps here? Yeah.
So there's a couple of things, right?
Yeah.
So I think what we have to do is, at least this is what I'm thinking at the moment. Okay, is let's go through and start writing down as we go through this, what all the issues are, right? From the point of view of end to end, right? What I expect will happen is we'll find things like UI issues. We'll have playability issues. We'll see that certain things don't quite work well. And there'll be things like this, for example, like the fact that it's changing the question when we get it wrong, right? So this is what I think in either the previous episode or the one before, I mentioned this thing about state, right? And that when a game player starts a new game, it should create a stateful object so it contains the questions for the board, right? So that will last whether, so the same question will happen every single time you click on a thing. So we're finding things like this out, right? So I think our role for the next episode is we'll go through this, start capturing in the issues log, right? And some of those will be front end issues. Some of those will be back end issues, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where I think that's what our next stop. And I think that will allow us to then kind of fine tune how the game plays. Now, there's a few things like what we saw there. There's that underneath the question. There's like an area of UI we don't know what that's for, right?
Yeah.
We can that's an example, right? But I think we're close, and I think this is exactly how typically when I'm using the tools is that getting to this point typically is only halfway, right? Our role now is to become the UA testing and generate the feedback to kind of to get Kira to kind of close those issues that we find.
Yeah, I think we are in a very good spot. I'm very happy with what we have. And
so next week, okay, so
we can have a dry run. This is what I want to say. Like, we can actually have a dry run for people to play around. You know, like
yeah. So we're thinking about hosting it. Okay, so maybe we could do that. Maybe we could. But I tell you what, let's think about that, right? The next week we're not going to be on Tuesday and Thursdays like our normal days. I think is it going to be Monday? I think Monday and
Thursday. I think we were talking about Monday and Thursday.
That's right. Monday and Thursday next week. So, folks, thanks for tuning in today for Fullstack.
In case you're in Poland next week as well, by the way, for the Cloud Fest conference, I will be there.
You're in Poland.
Yeah,
Which city?
I will. Yeah, I will be in Poland with the folks that actually you introduced me to.
Oh, nice.
I will talk about the depth of AI-driven development, not just the vibe coding. So
oh, cool, man. Cool.
Let me know.
Oh, I'm so excited. They're great. That's gonna be a great event. Yeah. So that's the CDG event, right?
It's the GDG event. Yeah.
Sorry, GDG. Yeah.
It's the Cloud Fest Poland they call.
Yeah. Dev Fest Poland. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh wow, man. That sounds awesome. So you'll be there on Tuesday, you said.
I will be there on Wednesday, but I will be on the road on Tuesday.
Okay.
But I'll be back
on Sally.
Yeah, thank you.
So, folks, that's all for today. We will see you next week for the next episode of Fullstack for Noobs, where we are getting and inching slowly towards the finish line. Okay, we now have a working application. Now it's our job to fix all those little bugs that come along, right? But Sally, good job, man. Good job.
Yeah, same, man. I'm like, everything seems to be in the right place. I'm happy.
Right, folks, wherever you are, have a good weekend, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.